Hello, and welcome to another DobleP video. Today we are running Fairies through a league, Mono Blue Fairies to be exact. I've played quite a lot of Is It Fairies, I've tried a bit of Dimir Fairies, but we're going to be trying the Mono Blue kind of tempo heavy version. I'm going to put away to an internet browser tab for a second, just to kind of go through some cool results recently. Where am I? Over here. So first off, Brivinix is another player who plays a ton of Is It Fairies, and they've had really good results lately, so I'm going to shout that out. And 250s, third in a challenge, top 16, all really good. That's better than I've been doing in challenges when I've played the deck, which is a bit of a shame. But shout out good fairy results, and fairy results talk about Bath down here with 250s on the same day, kind of slightly different deck lists. And then the reason why we're trying Mono Blue Fairies for now is Baston's thing where he's managed to win 3 challenges in a row on different days. Mono Blue, Dimir, and Mono Blue again. And then he's posted up on his YouTube channel. I can't imagine there's anybody who watches anything I post up that doesn't see their bit or doesn't know about them as a player online, watch their channel. I found this really useful as a resource in terms of how I think I was playing the deck wrong before, and I'm going to go into that a bit more detail, kind of going through some of the gameplay. The gist of what I think I was doing wrong was, if I say I was playing tempo to try and control the board, but not necessarily to build the most powerful thing that the Mono Blue Fairies deck could achieve, if that makes sense. So having watched that video, which, realistically, if you want to get better at playing fairies, you should definitely watch that and not watch this. Maybe there's a corner case where it's useful to see somebody who had made similar mistakes trying to learn how to play it properly, if that makes sense. But realistically, I don't know if I'm playing it properly. That is somebody who plays it properly. Anyway, shouldn't try and downsell what I'm trying to do too much, because then who sticks around and watches the video? But the kind of how am I going to say this? The founding idea that I think I need to do to play the deck differently and a bit better, have better results, is going to be the idea of almost building a snowball and sending that down the hill. It's controlling the board, but not having a 2 ninjas in play, something where they have to start tapping mana in their turn. You kind of deny them the luxury of playing around things. Is I think the mistake that I was making essentially. It's something that you can do in a deck that's like these fairies deck that I play, where it's designed to go into that slower game, but here you're really not. So again, the founding lesson I'm going to hopefully come back to a few times is we're going to build the snowball, roll it down the hill, and hope it gathers momentum. Obviously, there's corner cases, how do you play around removal spells and so on, but that's going to be the kind of founding idea. But with that, I hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see how we get on with our introduction to fairies. Right, we are on the play, round 1, what you love to see. Oh, and we've got a fairy and a ninja. There's more lands than I'd want here, but maybe we connect a few times to discard. I can't imagine you ever mulligan this. Turn 1 fairy, turn 2 ninja. I mean, maybe our fairy gets killed and we're a bit sad, but maybe it just goes all the way and we ride off into the sunset. So, this is a really interesting spot. So we'll see what we draw, but my instincts are saying okay, drawing 2 sprites I think makes that even clearer, almost makes it easier. My instincts tell me to just hold up sprite here, but that doesn't let us do the whole playing to the board, building an advantage and riding off into the sunset. If I'm assuming Island Ponder is Blue Terror. If we try and hold up sprite, I think they're so likely to just pass and then play 2 spells in our end step, and we've just wasted our mana. The other downside is if we do ninja things, then they're really likely, they just thought scour. Our sprites aren't going to counter what matters. This is actually quite an interesting. I think this is a genuine, relatively interesting spot. I'm going to say that again. I guess what I'm trying to do here is take the lesson of build the snowball, and how I build the snowball is I use my mana to, advance my board and expect that this is mono blue terror. If it was Jund, I think I would definitely be trying to hold up sprite, but I don't think that works as well against terror anyway. If they've got a handful of sorceries, I'm going to be really sad that I didn't hold up sprite. But again, my fear is Thought Scour and Mental Note, which they've got control over when they play. If I do it like this, maybe if I draw a Force Spike, I'd hold it. Okay, and then this is obviously the other thing about playing fairies. You just draw the sprites, and deck's great. Obviously, we're not playing too quickly here. Okay, with this, so they're playing blue-black, and with this start, I'm very happy I blocked the ninja. And am I going to do the same again? They don't have that many scuds in the graveyard. Ninja's pretty good. The next turn I can hold up like sprite, if they counter I can sprite again. If I did it the first time, I don't think it's wrong to do it again, especially now because I drew the other ninja. Why does drawing the other ninja matter, apart from obviously it being the thing that lets me do the thing? I don't really know what I was thinking when I said that. But yeah, again, this is the kind of idea of instead of being holding up mana, I'm just trying to build this snowball, stay ahead. Yeah, and now if they didn't have the snuff out to answer, they're stuck. They have to play something into a sprite. That's the kind of actual explanation for what we're doing. We draw like a champ, but yeah, we get paid off for them having the snuff out. Is it crazy they didn't snuff out the ninja? I know, because we were on the play as well, yes. We'd already got to proc the ninja before they made their swamp. Yeah, that checks out. What do I want here? Let's say I'm going to want some dispels. And then I need to work out what I do against either Dimir Fairies or Dimir Terror. There's not a huge difference between the two. That's my slightly controversial opinion. Definitely want Dispel. I think I can Bind the Monster. I don't think I want Unable to Scream in case they are ninjas. And then what do I want to cut? Again, my gut says Force Spike because they're a deck that likes to make land drops if we get into a kind of standoff. And these are going to be pretty rough. I feel like Snap is just better than Bind the Monster. Do I have to find room for the second one? I guess if they're fairies, the intruders do something. If they are they do something against their 8 fairies in combat. But if they're playing 5/5s, then an intruder doesn't do a lot. Okay, sideboarding, you should definitely watch somebody who knows what they're doing. This is my logic: is we're both going to make more land, so Force Spike's going to be more likely dead than not. And I'm thinking they're going to have 5/5s where intruders are worse, but I don't want to cut all of them. Like, I could easily cut more intruders for either the Force Spike or the Scream, but let's give this a go. Hello, Force Spike. Let's pause whilst I make that go away. And it has gone away. This hand is terrible compared to the first one. Do I still just keep? Let's see. Why would it matter if they're mulligan? Again, kind of need more reps in the deck, but this definitely seems at least consider mulliganing. We need to draw a ninja, or we've just got nothing going on, and we're basically already mulligan to like Bind the Monster. I'm not excited by it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's better than the Force Spike, but not here in this hand. I'd rather have the Force Spike. At least it does something. So I'm going to keep and learn my lesson. I think on the play it's easier to. Okay, so they are fairies. So yeah, I'd rather have an intruder than this. But I guess I'm trying to play a miscreant and block. Ugh, what a disaster. We sideboarded wrong, and then we just get oh. So the miscreant actually, the ninja actually makes this a slightly harder choice. Yes, we sideboarded wrong and then we kept a bad hand. It's not great. They're not likely to have many intruders, so maybe we block, but likewise, if we get to hack and replay our guy, I think I'm happy. I'm gonna maximize for power on my side. Is this a landscape snuff out? Okay, so they're playing more fairies than I thought they were. Seems absolutely wild to bind the monster a fairy miscreant that just serves as a battery to keep them drawing cards. That would mean that we get to hack, and then if we replay a miscreant, we can oval mine cheap. I do need to make my ninja. I hate it. I hate that I'm in this position, but considering I am in this position, I think I need to do it. I've got 2 oval mines. I need to be able to cast these. Oh, it's all bad. It's all bad. So we just set ourselves back in the Stone Age and just get blanked by, this is the opposite of game 1 where they're gonna, if they have a spell slot to sprite here, we're just locked in the bin. It's a ninja. That could be worse. Guess I'm bind the monstering this as well. Again, that sucks to a snap. Bind the monster this, play my miscreant. You know what's better than bind the monster? Snuff out. You don't get these types of learning opportunities watching the the people who know how to play the deck well, or who make better decisions. We can't play anything here. It's just almost always going to go wrong. Well, and anyway, the other anything is essentially a counterspell. So, and I guess I'm blocking, which again I'm not thrilled about, but you got to do what you got to do. It's got big. I thought I was going to slam a sprite on something. No, opponent just, wants you ahead, get further ahead. That's cool. Is this a human? No. What, so we have to counterspell this and just get spell pierced or dazed into the bin? Okay. Dispelled. Why did I say daze? I meant force spike, but a ninja here is obviously really bad. So they pick up their sprite. They've got sprite for 2. Bear in mind, I almost forgot that because the what do you call it? This guy was like, oh, it's removed, but obviously it's very much not removed. I don't know how we ever get back. I think this is why the opponent conceded nice and dirty. We're kind of being rude. Arms Vidar. Okay, that's good to know about. Just feed a guy to a sprite and see what I draw. What would I ever draw that matters? Who knows? I'm show them I have this. This is from Barth's list. He wouldn't do this. And then I'll concede. Opponent correctly played their counterspell. So, okay, definitely don't want Scream if they're fairies, because that fucking ninjutsu is a horror. I want the Brian Barrow intruder back because winning combat is really, really good. Buying the monsters, I guess it's still fine. It's not great. What did I do? I cut these three for these two, and I've even forgotten what the other card I cut for was. Was it Dispel? Probably. Let's check that because it's embarrassing not to know. Yeah, one of the Dispels. So I think I want to put the intruder back in. It's relatively low impact, but a 1/2 still gets through a lot of the board. And maybe a snap. Do I even want 4 spikes? I'm on the play again. That seems 4 spikes seems really bad in a deck against a deck that's got so many 1-drops, but it's also just if we're fighting, I want to snap my own guys as much as theirs. That's bad against Snuff Out, and if we're just purely playing tempo, I guess I've got arms for that, so that's kind of an anti-tempo. That's a solution for them for the tempo plan now, but I'm going to have the 4 spikes on the play. 4 spikes seems a bit better. Although obviously we're going to be trying to turn 1 off fairy every time. I don't think you can keep this. Doesn't even do anything if it draws a land. Oh no. Okay, I don't think I can mull to 5. That's just one of my rules. Is avoid mulling into 5 as much as you can. I think that the drop off on win rate from 6 to 5 is huge. And I guess I'm putting back one of the bind the monsters. I'd almost be tempted to put back the counterspell because it's weirdly like one of the worst cards here. I'm like locked in to bind the monster or 1-drop, and so we're not counterspelling on turn 2. Oh god, it's so bad. If we don't draw a 1-drop creature, we're in a world of hurt. Okay. Fairy Seer makes, gives us a shot in the game. Are we required to bind the monster this so they don't ninja? I don't think I want either of these. I mean, we can kind of block, but then we're back into a world where we don't have anything. I feel like I'm in an absolute nightmare. So I want to maximize my chance of being able to attack a ninja, which means I bind the monster. Obviously, this is really bad. Like, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm pleased to have this, but this is kind of the situation I was hoping to set up, where, what if they have a sprite? Do you think they'd like sprite into block? I don't. They do. Guess we're just counterspelling. This is much, even if they fight over mana here, the fact that we'd get to get in with our guy seems huge. They don't have black mana, so they might have a snuff out with no black mana, for example. Wow. Lucky us. Bonkers. I mean, they know about the Fairy Seer. I think I have to play the Fairy Seer. Although part of me is tempted to hold up the sprite. But then, I don't know what 1-drop I'm I counter a Fairy Miscreant, but most of their 1-drops don't really affect the board. They don't have another Brainstorm or something, or they'd cast it. They'd cast it that turn. So I think I can Fairy Seer. And then bottom and top. I guess if they find a swamp and snuff out this turn. Yeah, okay, which is basically what they do. So presumably they snuff out this turn, and then we're... Oh no! If they had a snuff out, that seems like an absolute horror of a decision. And they don't have a snuff out, and yeah, so now we're just, again, absolutely miles ahead. Fairies are so weird. I thought we were short lost. Guess we just got like a little bit lucky and a little bit of luck. Just the deck's really good at slamming a door shut. You know, it's not... I think we're in a pretty comfortable position. I don't think it's locked up yet. So I can try and sprite this. And I counterspell back. Like, if they, you know, they could well be setting up for an Arms of Hadar. They could have a snuff out. Snuff out's awful. If they had a snuff out, they'd have used it. So let's just attack. I was going to say hilarious if they had an Arms of Hadar and we drew the Force Spike. I think I'm going to keep the island for the Strix now. No, Cast Down's kind of a reasonable card they could have. Like another Cast Down, they only had one black mana source that turn. Extract a Confession with additional cost, so we're losing the ninja. So bad, not absolutely horrible. A ninja is, again, obviously that's really funny. Not really funny, it's really fortunate. Just had it all. Do I play the Miscreant? I can kind of do it in the manners kind of even. If they have a Arms of Hadar, I just lose my guy. But I think I do need to keep trying to get a bit more ahead. I don't know what reasonable 3-drops they might have, like Suffocating Fumes, but I'd dispel that. I think this is about best case for me. I want them not to have a counterspell, and I don't want to play my, this way I get a counterspell out of the hand, and I don't actually overplay to the board with a sprite. But I think I probably do sprite. I know I can't sprite this because, again, this Miscreant's actually in play, so a sprite for them is live. Is this how we get back to actually losing the game? Because our snowball's coming down the hill, it's gained momentum, but suddenly there's a tree in the way. Big on analogies now. Normally I'm big on the kind of nonsense truisms. So I'm going to start with the Oval Mind. Again, I win the counterfight, so deck's just stupid when it does its thing. And then I think I Harry a Strix, tap this. Just because it's 3 damage and that gets them to the point they can't really snuff out. Yeah, okay. Turns out just back-to-back 1-mana draw 2s is pretty sick. I'm surprised we won game 3. I think maybe that's a useful, instructive game, because I definitely don't think I'd have won that, almost before watching the Bath video and actually getting a bit more of an idea of we got lucky either way. We might well have made the wrong decision, but I definitely played differently from having watched that video and having this new framing of the thing of build the snowball, send it down the mountain, try and make sure it picks up speed. I fully appreciate that our snowball lost all its speed at various points, like turn 1 when we got our thing killed, had to block. Oh well, cool game. Right, so we're on the draw. Spell sets are a bit awkward. Like a spell stress on 2 is unlikely to counter much. But multiple spell testers are a house. We've got a 1-drop. Anyway, I think I'm going to keep I don't really recognize the. I recognize the name. I don't remember what they play. Oh. Oh, that's brutal. That's really good. This is brutal, but the fairies is really good. Um, who plays desert? This got me thinking it's fog, because who else has time for desert? And if it's black fog, I kind of want dispel. I think I'm going to go top. The idea on wanting the snap is snapping a spellstutter sprite. So now I think we're basically just staying home, and we're essentially trying to get to a point where um, we have enough creatures we can fight through deserts. Just make sure the opponent knows I'm not, not that bitter. I saw somebody type on the board for Discord that leagues are just infested with fairies after buffs thing. I'm, copycat. Not the only one with the idea of, wow, I should try that deck. That deck seems great. Um, and yeah, so if League infested with fairies, play some deserts. So again, they're not making me think they're black green fog. Where it's going to get tricky is if I'm going to run out of land drops first. Because of that, I'm going to play a Strix. I guess if I tap their swamp, they can't, maybe I get them to play a spell. The idea on the Strix is the looting. With 3 mana, we can loot and still hold up 1 counter spell. I think I'm just going to keep playing lands. I think I can, if I have ninjas, I can ninja and pick up in response to the desert target and save a guy that way. I can loot here and discard a snap. Although again, if snap's just a hard counter, again I've kind of got 5 of their 6 cards covered. Alright. I need a Brine Barrow Intruder and I need to put a Cybermancer counter on it. Is that the plan? Is that the dream? We need to play quicker as well. I've been told if I press 2 it yields until I cast a spell, which would be would have won me several games of Magic over time. Again, this is crazy. I think I'm just going to play the hacker so I get budget of 1 mind. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not an expert, but definitely not attacking into these. I'm not activating ninjutsu anytime soon. Just play a 1 mana draw 2. The dream. We're only a 2-drop away from being able to. Oh, this guy's got hexproof? That's hilarious. What do you say about a hexproof 1/2? How are you going to beat that? I kind of do want to pass with mana up though. I don't really want to discard a card. I can discard a Moon Circuit Hacker if they don't play anything. I just don't think the hacker does anything. I think I just sprite. Your garden's not fog, in which case this is kind of tricky. We have to not get blown out by the Crypt Rats that's steaming down the line. kind of want to snap my guy, but then another removal spell, I get crit trapped, I'm dead. I guess they get to draw 2 cards. Maybe they get to draw 2 cards, but I'm saying that I still traded a card I was going to discard anyway to hand size. That's my justification for having tapped mana. Just you wait till they see what I've got. I think I'm just going to let them have this. They've got 7 cards. Maybe they can play 2 cards next turn because they're going to draw up to 10. So they have to play 2 cards on a land or they're discarding to hand size. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten completely bamboozled by deserts. We're playing so slowly compared to them as well. So I'm letting all these things happen because again they're kind of neutral on cards. They're spending a load of mana, but not going down cards in hand. And I don't think I need to counter this. I don't think it does anything. Maybe the Harrier Strix. Harrier Strix will be useful later on. Not if I'm trying to kill them in 20 turns. Guess I'll lose the hacker. Just play the Fairy Seer. I'm not committing that much to the board. The Scry is useful. I'm going to keep the island because we're not at the point where we're kind of jamming cards yet. At some point we can like Moon Circuit Hack pick this up, but I don't think we need to until I think that's when we kind of both sides have played a few cards. So yeah, now I'm just playing the island, getting in for another big one with the big hexproof guy, hexproof lad. 3 of these is so funny. We're drawing a Dispel for this turn, so we're probably just going to play another Moon Circuit Hacker. I guess we could Hacker and pick this up. Might get him for an extra damage. I don't think that's any good. I think there's any reason to do that. Yeah, so I can't pick it up with ninjutsu, it's still tapped and attacking. We lose our guy. Gonna let them draw. Play this out. If they have a Crypt Rats army, I'm in trouble. Right, yeah. So I'm letting both sides of this resolve. Again, my idea on not fighting over these is trying to pick only the, almost try and fight over only the cards that matter. That's what I do when I'm playing Izzet. I appreciate my previous talk of building a snowball, but I just don't see how you snowball against deserts. That seems really tough. So they get all the cards in the world to fight through our 4 mana, which I'm going to assume they can do. Just 13 cards? That's crazy. Are we a mill deck? Oh god, a campfire. What do we do against campfire? Oh. I mean, I'm not beating that, so I'm going to counterspell it. Yep, that's how we lose. Yeah. So I'm going to say we lost this to being greedy and not wanting to discard to hand size. And our opponent, it was okay. They've got 3 deserts at least. We were in trouble anyway. But the fact that the opponent could, and they've got the campfire, yeah. So with a campfire, we can't even mill them. That was kind of my backup plan. Yeah, opponent, happily went up to 13 cards to not, to discard hand size. We tapped an extra. We did the ninja. We tapped 2 mana. If our plan was to just hit for 1 every turn and counterspell the things that mattered, we needed more mana up. Besides, I don't see how we beat that apart from we just fight. We don't even try and kill them. We just hope they draw more cards than us. I don't love it. I don't think this is going to be a very instructive game, let alone us playing badly. But not having to bind the monsters and screams because they're going to have sacrifice effects. I'm not going to have force spikes because you saw how many lands they had. And cuts of intruders, sure. But yeah, no, definitely I'm going to say a tough game made worse. I'm keeping on the back of Fairy Seer and trying to find a land. It's not an amazing hand, but this is 3 looks at a second land. Between this and our draw step. Bottom. I'm not prepared to for how to play into 3 deserts. That wasn't on my list, not on my radar. Oh, I didn't even see I had another 1-drop. There you go. Get in there, Harry Strix. Playing this is probably really bad there. Oh well, I couldn't dispel this anyway. So we've had game 1 was our main course. But now what's for dessert? Get it? Yeah, okay. I've kept better 1-landers than this. Can discard the ninja. The ninja shouldn't matter. Oh, if I could, I would have dispelled that, but oh well. Again, like, opponent seems very prepared. We're playing like chumps and we didn't get there. Yeah, I think the keep was kind of fine. But when you don't get there, you don't get there. Maybe you keep the second Fairy Seer, but it seems like Scry 2 is much, much worse than the chance of drawing, almost drawing out of it. I'm going to see 1 more draw step. Because we could still, like, if plan B is just counter the things that matter and then still sabotage this and mill them. Okay, I'm just a bit grumpy after, what's this, no lands in the top 4? No, 7 in our hand. Yeah. Okay, so we have to be on the draw this time. I'm going to keep because we have a ninja and a hacker. It's not a 1-drop, but again, I don't think you mulligan this. There's a chance that we don't get to build our snowball because we're behind when we snap and all this. Just Dimir Fairies. Oh, I just drew the fairy anyway. Dimir Fairies fan clubs over here with everyone on that deck. They should let me scry before they snuff out, but if everything goes well, Awful Mind's great. I've already got 1 though. I think I bottomed that, and I think I bottomed the land. And then watch my guy disappear. It's a magic trick. Yeah. Disappear. Okay. So I think I'm on like island, no block, no attack. I guess a bottom. Maybe I could draw an intruder. Top. That's so much better than bottom. So I'm not planning to run any blocks here. I'd maybe snap a. I can't snap unless I tap mana, but I'd maybe snap a ninja. I probably would. And then I could sprite on the way back down. Just take one. Need to figure out how to get some momentum back in our favour here. I was all hyped up after winning the first one because, like I said, I don't think I'd normally want that. And I'll be honest, triple desert. that's the advanced class fairies. I'm not. I don't think I was ready for the advanced class. I was still in the fairies 101. My entire plan at this point is that I get to snap this when they ninjutsu, and then I counter it on the way back down. If that doesn't happen, I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I could drop my play an intruder and, bluff a counter spell, but if they do just play a fairy there, I'm in deep, deep trouble. And so it is. So it is that we continue to sit here and just don't do anything. I'm going to let them choose on this now. Weirdly, it kind of makes me want to play the intruder more, even though the intruder is now blanked. It's just that I want to play something because, like, the value on ninjutsu and augur is fairly real. Like, if this gets sprited, at least I get to play a miscreant. It does get sprited. And now I know they've got snuff out as well. Part of me kind of wants to play a sprite so I can try and hack. So I can off one mind, which is pretty out there. Maybe I was right, like maybe I wasn't being wrong to just keep being patient and I needed to just keep that up. This has got to be a dispel then, right? They'd risk this to a counter spell. I think they're just going to snuff out. But I don't think the sprite's doing anything for me in hand. Not now that I've given them a sprite on the board to pick up with the ninja. If I'm playing something, I think I play both. I think the other thing is that I just don't play anything. Can I play a Moonsucker Hacker? How do I play a Moonsucker Hacker? Can I just cast it? I don't think I can just cast it. So I don't love no response. Well, I'm going to try and save my guy. If they have a counterspell, I can just give up and go home. Thorn's kind of interesting. I need to leave a guy at home now. I need two guys at home to sit on the monarch. That makes the most sense. I agree with them. Then I'm going to be basically playing the Moonsucker Hacker to of one mind. I need to get some velocity and I need to get something going on my end. That's an even better way of doing that. So I can intruder, shrink the fairies here. So at least if I trade, I get to trade with the sprite. Play off one mind. Sprite, eat that sprite. Go through combat. And then I can hacker so that I will have more attackers than they have blockers. Currently with nothing going on, without like ignoring the two cards they're going to draw. But even if I do that and attack, I lose an intruder and the hacker to get the monarch for a turn, and they just attack and take it back. So that doesn't seem worthwhile. So let's just pass back. I'm not really sure how we get back into this, but the two intruders were good draws. Them drawing more lands are good draws. Kind of need another intruder to win one more combat in the air. Now I can't really attack because I can't have no flyers. Can't really attack on the ground. So they're just getting the extra card for a turn for a little while. Yeah, I didn't really feel in this one ever. I was surprised how slowly we lost it. And we kind of almost got into a spot where we weren't completely dead. But we did end up losing pretty convincingly. I'm trying to work out if there's a way that we use these two to make sure that we kill two guys. But I think I needed to do get the Orzhov mine going earlier. Because again, even though they just chump blocked and so keep the monarch, that's, it's not bad for them. We'll see a draw step and then we'll concede. Yeah. Yeah, neat game. So I think I was on Bind the Monster and Dispel, which I still kind of like. And then I was cutting the 4 spikes. And God, it'd be really useful if I remember what I was doing. I feel like I'd really have a bit more credibility. Just to dispel and one Bind the Monster, I think I'm happy with that. Alright, on the play this time. That's got to be good. And I'm going to keep. Love to see a ninja. Ninja or an intruder, I guess. Depending on what the opponent has. I don't think I can have the Orzhov mind. I think I have to take the land. Land's not amazing. It's not the most powerful next turn, but it's going to be very useful on turn 3. They have their own guy. I kind of feel like I can attack. Like, I'm going to have all the intruders, whereas they're not. Although losing my guy, turning off Sprite as a 2 is pretty shit. Pretty bad. I don't know how much I swear. I normally swear quite a lot. I don't know how much I'm swearing on the channel. It's pretty bad for us. I just don't think you block. That's so wild. You absolutely hate to see it. It was kind of like a semi-bluff that didn't pay off. So I kind of can drop a sprite here. They can't counterspell it. They're not going to force spike it. Worst they can do is fetch for a swamp and snuff out. I think it's so important to kind of have something going. It's worth doing that. Again, the swamp snuff out is, yeah, okay. Spider-Man, like meme pointing at each other. And so we already know you just love blocking and risking getting blown out by that. Yeah, like, you definitely shouldn't block, man. Surely. It's crazy. I've got 4 intruders. Blocking's like, attacking's turned off our snap, but like, I don't know. I appreciate that, like, if we have a ninja there, it's really, really bad for them, and maybe they have to block, but on the first one, I don't think the ninja's, the absolute end of the world. They didn't even get a swamp on this. That's interesting as well. Learned about the number 2 as a keyboard shortcut, which seems really useful. Okay, we're upping to the point where we're drawing too many lands. That's less useful. So they felt that they needed to fetch an island to have blue-blue that turn. Or have blue that turn, right? They fetching in your main phase for an island and then not playing anything just seems really strange. Surely that tells me something, but I'm not sure what. Like, I think I have to counterspell. Obviously, if I had a sprite, it would be great, but snuff out's now on the menu. If I try and dispel, or they have a sprite, I'm just dead anyway. Maybe they don't cast it. Am I blocking? I mean, I don't have a ninja, so I guess I have to. They did have a ninja, so I'm glad that we did. Gonna hack back at them. I'm not planning to block this time. Snapping my guy doesn't really do a ton. I guess this is just better than a snap. Just showing that like tapping out and showing you have one card is just so many ways it goes wrong. Like, I've got so many draws that don't synergize with a Moon Circuit Hacker. So I think round 2 would have been very, very hard to win. Round 3 was kind of like, kind of a mirrory thing. I'm genuinely kind of interested as to whether other people would win these games, if that makes sense. I'm going to have a quick flick through afterwards and see whether there's any points where like I could have made significantly different decisions. I think the big one would have just been the attacks into the fairies. Am I going to play out my hacker? Playing hacker's better into a counterspell. Better because it means I can block. Not counterspell, sorry, like a removal spell. Worse into... I know, we basically have to work out what we'd do if they went, like, if they just went attack because of a thorn or something like that. I kind of think I have to play hacker. No? I give them extra loot, and if they draw a removal spell, I'm in the bin. If they don't, I start to build my snowball. I don't love it. This for sure gives me the highest chance of, I basically have to ride out the card in their hand. Like, I think they've got one card in their hand that's not very good. And then I have to ride out 2 cards. Do you ninja and pick this back up? Surely you pick this back up. This guy's not better than a... Oh, wow. Well, if this works, or the hacker works... Okay. Very, very glad we took the shot. That's bonkers how good that draw was. Or how good that gamble was for us. What, draw 3 cards? Thank you. Insane. Okay, there's not an insane draw for these 3 cards. Oh, that's absolutely brutal. Jesus Christ. Oh. Jesus Christ, that was absolutely brutal. I'm going to say if you rather gain life this time, you should have drawn the card last time as well. But yeah. Now what? This guy never gets through because they just put the hacker in. They just play the ambusher and it's a 3-2 and block. So I just need to draw I need to draw a flying creature, it survive, and we're basically in the same spot as before when we had the miscreant and the hacker. I'm gonna tell my opponent GG's and that I hit 3 lands off of my miscreant hacker loop. It's always important to just slightly salt off for the opponent. I'm going to wait to draw my card and then I'll get out of here. I don't know what my best draw is. It's basically like a bunch of runners with Orzhov mines, like just divination into like fairy seer sprite. Maybe I stick around. That's not divination into fairy sprite. That was a fun game. Alright, back again on the draw, and we've got fairies I'm going to keep. Bath boys out in force. Yeah. What have we got for us? A snacker. That's kind of interesting. What do we do here? So we I don't know, I can snap that guy. That seems pretty rough. I think I'm just on island pass. I do really want to, be able to moon circuit hack, but I think I want to snap this in there end step rather than now. So I'm going to try and sprite. This goes through snuff outs, presumably there could be a brainstorm, they could target themselves. So this seems really good. Let's snap this in for 3, picking up the sprite, and then do I hold up sprite on sprite for 2, or do I start firing off some off-one mines? What am I worried about? If they just play another snacker, I'll just intruder, shrink it. I'm just going to get the power whilst the power's good. Whereas if I hold up sprite here and they, make a land, have a cast down, I'm kind of in the bin. Okay, this wasn't good. This wasn't good for me. That's a lot of cards, but not tempo-ish. Like, if I can use intruders to win some combats here, I could well be fine still. Very good for me that they're stuck on 3 lands, so that I've kind of got a bit of a, I've at least got this mana advantage. You're ninjaing as well. I believe I intrude this. Just stop them drawing a card, and then I can block it in the future. Obviously, intruder is kind of my way to try and get through sneaky snackers, but again, I'm going to try and operate off of a mana advantage. Strix, I guess I tap your snacker. And I think I only get in for 1 and leave the intruder back to block here. It's very informative to them that I don't have a ninja. Oh no, no, no. Oh, I have 6 through that. I should just press the button 2. I've learned about the button 2 and the button 2 is so good. Just keep pressing 2. It's not like this Strix is absolutely insane there, but being able to loot seems, I need something to give me an edge versus all of the snackers. Looting into intruders and so on could well be it. I don't think I fight over that. Again, if I draw a miscreant, having the first one's really good, but I don't think I can fight over it. I think that's too hard to justify. Crazy they don't play a snacker. I think. Like, playing a snacker seems kind of pretty safe. If I counter it, you're not that sad. Oof. It feels like I've had like bursts of good luck, if that makes sense, but I feel like overall I've been pretty unfortunate. I kept one landers that didn't get there. I've flooded quite a lot in a couple of games. Am I attacking? Or do I wait for a ninja? I think I've got to wait for a ninja. Like, attacking for one just doesn't achieve anything. Yeah, so, yeah, not all woe is me, but I definitely don't think I've been, like, super fortunate in these matches. Okay, so now I'm gonna go for it. By go for it, I mean attack for one. And try and intrude. So I want to counterspell so that if they counter back. Although if I sprite, what's the worst that happens? Like I can fight over a couple of removal spells. Okay. Like I've got the like again they've only got 2 mana, so it's less. The sprite isn't that fragile. So I'm going to try and dispel this. Dispelling this has got to be a sprite. You got to want to sprite this. Look at it. You got a spare ninja. You got everything. So I'm kind of winning this fight, but I'm tapped out if they have another draw too. Yeah, or like another abandoned attachment for 2 snackers. Could they just play one? They just play 2. That's such a good draw. But what do we do with it? If we send in the gang, they leave the Fairy Seer unblocked, right? Because if they leave an intruder unblocked, it's super duper bad for them. If I send in the gang minus a sprite, I think we're rumbling with the gang. Yeah, like sending in the gang minus a sprite, if they just have a draw, if they ever cast a draw 2, the game is over. Whoa. What you have is this a spell? Is that the sprite you're telling me? Giving me the intruder in combat seems really good for me. And then I save the sprite, do I? I'm not sold on saving sprite. Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. And that's a good draw. So if I play a sprite, I can then pick it up with ninja. Basically, if I don't play ninja, I think I'm nearly guaranteed to flash in sprite anyway in their end step. So let's just not play it. Like if they have a counterspell in hand, it's a bit worse not to have played the sprite. I have to play this now, I think, because I need to be able to attack to take back the monarch. And again, like playing around to draw a counterspell. Although if they draw brainstorm, but they're brainstorm in their turn, in my turn, and they'll still get back all the snackers. So only if they draw like a, I don't know, like a mental note, for example, it would really matter. So no removal spells, please. I have seen better force spikes. Just ninjas for days. Again, I really want to play a ninja. Oh, they're at 3. Really want to play a ninja. They can't really block because I've got an army of ninjas. Yeah. Okay. So maybe the moaning about being unlucky and then going on to kind of get there is a bad vibe. Especially because I think I did the thing where I started talking and kind of tailed off without really having a, without really finishing the thought, finishing the story. So yeah, we kept drawing creatures. They didn't draw, they had a few spots where if they'd have got back snackers in time, it would have been absolutely backbreaking. The combat kind of works out for us because they had to counterspell the intruder, but if they have the counterspell and they know that, they know we're going to use it anyway, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. Such weird games. I feel like I'm not actually. I was hoping I was going to be a bit more insightful on this thing of my pitch for the video was going to be I was going to have 5 matches where I go, right, we're going to focus on building the snowball and we're going to show how building the snowball is really useful. And I don't think we've really done that very much. I think instead we've just been kind of stumbling around, getting there sometimes, not getting there sometimes. What was I doing? I was doing 2 force spikes. I cut an intruder, but I think that was wrong. I think I want buying the monster more because of their on snackers. So maybe I cut a Harrier Strix. Oh, I think it's probably the Strix or a Snap. Snap saving my guy is okay. Snap not saving my guy feels really, really bad. Snap getting 2 for 1 basically feels really, really bad. I'm going to cut a Snap and keep the Strix. Definitely don't think I want 4 spike. You see how many lands we had in play? A crazy number. I'm going to keep. I don't love my hand. But we had a 1-drop and we drew a ninja. We are masters. I don't know what opponents turn 1 island go as. I really want a 3rd land. Or not to miss land drops. But a sprite is a sprite. So I'm definitely bottoming the off 1 mind. Bottoming a sprite feels really hard. I think it's worth keeping the sprite because if I don't draw a land, there's so much I'd rather. Sprite is worse than land, but sprite is better than a lot of the other cards I could draw. Did you turn 1 brainstorm and not get there on a land? Like keep a 1-lander and not get there? I know that you brainstorm book yourself, but I would have thought you brainstorm in my end step still. Because if you have if you don't draw a land but drew a Lorien revealed, you'd still do something. So this is pointedly not a swamp. And we're going to, as we say, the entire video is talking about building the snowball. Obviously, ninjaing when there's no way it can go wrong this turn is a pretty obvious choice. If they don't have a removal spell, we've got like Fairy Seal of 1 mind. It's pretty good. I was reading the brainstormers, they don't have a lot in hand. They maybe set up the Augur with the brainstorm. That would make sense. So this should hit. It does hit a cast down, but cast down doesn't seem good. Is the long and short of it. I can try and snap this to get in again. Or I can Fairy Seer an off 1 mind. Or I can Cryomancer and make my guy a 3/3. But they have a cast down. If I try and snap and they dispel, then they cast down my guy whilst I'm tapped out. Super in the bin. If I play a Fairy Seer, I can scry to, and if I see a land, I can keep it off 1 mind into the land and hold up Dispel still. I'm going to do this. If it's Spell Pierce, it doesn't matter, but okay. So bottom. I think we're just off on mine still. Wow. That's so sick. Sometimes it just all comes together. You know when I was moaning about being really unlucky? I take it all back. Again, they could easily have like island, what's the one? Amsvadar. We're back into a lot of trouble. We're back into not being ahead. But again, I'd be interested to see what they show us. Like, unless there's an untapped swamp, I would be cast downing here. No? No, I don't know if I'd be cast downing, but I wouldn't be thrilled with what they're doing. Part of me really does like making this ninja the D-powers a 3/3. Definitely attacking with the Fairy Seer. And I want to Moon Circuit hack it to draw another card. I'm definitely attacking the 2 flyers. They've got a Snuff Out and no Swamp. I think I'm just going to kill a guy. Like, with 3 mana, I know that they're very likely to cast down. And it's weird because I was pitching for them to do it last turn, and this turn I'm investing the mana into making it good for them. But like, the Augurs are kind of good for a really long time, is my thinking. Maybe I even pick up the Harriestrix here, so that I can pick up the Cryptomancer my next turn. So the choice is between pick up Harriestrix to get him with the Moon Circuit Hacker. Great if I draw. Well, because then even if they cast down, I still get to tap. That's 2 of their mana. I still get to tap down the Augur. Okay. Yeah. Very weird. Very weird games. Right, we are back again. Opponent's kept 7. Okay, this hand again, it really, really stinks. We've got a 1-drop. We just need to draw. We need to draw a ninja. I can scry 2 into it to get 3 looks at ninja. I'm gonna keep, but super not excited about it. And this is gonna be like a Glinthawk deck, which seems like it's gonna be really tough. Okay, not great. So bottom, that's for sure. So yeah, like Glinthawk or Skyfisher, all that stuff if you're doing this. Okay, so Black White Blade. Well, getting to have a counterspell here does seem really useful. Obviously it'd be better if we had a ninja, but this is better than I thought, this is a better turn 2 than I thought we were going to have, based on their turn 1 play. Yeah, they've still drawn an extra card. They've played a Tabland, playing the Karoo land basically gives you +1 card. It's not incredible, but there are at least ways that we can build the snowboard from here. Snowboard? Snowball. It's really hard for them to spend, this feels really hard for them to tap 2 mana here, because like all of our sprites that we're representing. It doesn't get better for waiting. Now we've got Sprite and Dispel. I mean, maybe that means they can resolve like a 1-drop or a 2-drop if they have another untapped land. But some of the time they're doing that, it's because they have a 2-drop and a cast down to fight through the Sprite. And then the Dispel is going to eat. So we basically want to Sprite something this turn, and then draw a ninja to pick up the Sprite, and then we are truly laughing. I think I just dispel. I mean, you get a counterspell out of me, but you should play this card with affinity things, really. I'm not gonna. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not gonna ninja because I want to try and. Yeah. If I sprite this and they have a glint, or they have a what's the guy called? Skyfisher. That is kind of bad. But if I let it go and they have a Skyfisher, I can't counter anything anyway. At least this way, the Skyfish, the Skyfish is still good, but it's not insane as it would be if it picked up a removal spell. And if they don't have anything, then we just, yeah, okay. Again, I don't think I was necessarily salting off. I was saying that we had bursts of luck, but overall weren't running incredibly hot. That's what I was trying to get across. And I take it back now because I feel we've run very well. No, okay. We've had another significant burst of luck in this game. Let's put it like that. It's so crazy. So let's have some annuls, some steel sabotages. Do I want some bind the monsters? I guess I need to deal with their flyers. But again, if they like pick up their flyer, that's really bad. I don't think I want more dispel for once. Intruder's good against like refurb, sucks against Skyfisher still. 4 spike seems good. I mean, I assume you're playing artifacts, so I want these. Maybe I don't want 5. Like, I think 2 dispel is fine. I don't think I want a 3rd. That's kind of, you risk being too specific. And I think I need to chance the bind the monster type things to try and land on a Skyfish, and then just have to not let them pick it up. So what if I just did these 4 for these 4? Snap still seems good. 4 spike seems good. Harrier Strict seems fine. It seems weird not to have more annuls, but it does seem weird not to have more annuls. They don't come to like almost the scariest thing. Maybe because of dispel for an annul. Yeah. We're into the world where it's making such a small difference. We've got 3 of that effect. I don't want to have 5 and then die having a bunch of so I'm going to keep, I've got someone very turn 2 ninja. I don't want to die having a bunch of annuls in hand as they just play a core Skyfisher. Opponent has mulligan to a core Skyfisher. Or to refurb. Wow, we're so good. I kind of want to go top. Let's see what this is. Refurb? Refurb. I think it's like I'm leaning towards it being the Fairy Seer. Tricky discarding a Fairy Seer because now we've not got like an easy double play on turn 3. It helps the opponent's move to 5. Definitely seems to help. So I can sprite this. I think it's unlikely they can kill both my creatures. Yeah. And so they've only got 1 card to take this shot at Moon Circuit Hack of or Mind. Worst case, they, Skyfisher refurb me. That's a pretty bad worst case, but now that I've drawn that, it's not the worst bad case because I'd stop the Skyfisher, tap the Skyfisher. I'd still get in like trade, ninja. Basically, anything that doesn't involve a Skyfisher this turn, I think we're fine. Yeah, I think we're fine now. So because we've got the counter spell, we can just bind the monster this. Bind the monster this, not ninja straight away, so we hold up counter spell. That seems dubious. Bind the monster this, let them have another shot at a Skyfish and we lose, feels really bad. I guess if they have like a removal spell, this sucks. Like, unless I draw a land, I can't replay the Fairy Seer this turn. That's not the end of the world because I'm, got an extra card coming every turn. Okay, and we draw the extra land anyway. Some consideration holding up both of these, but I think I want to get the Scry going. I don't think I want another Annul, I think I've got my Annul. And I don't think I need the Dispel. Let's press 2. Get the Surveil going. Let's see. Top. So I don't think I need to fight the Lembas. I don't know. Maybe I could because I know their second card is good as well. I'm going to try and still sabotage this. And yeah, okay. I was going to say, like, I assumed it had to be top Lembas, top Refurb. But yeah, again, there was some weird chance they sat on a Lembas. Then the Skyfisher could have killed us. We are not in that world. Thank God. And we go 3-2. 3-2 playing 3 blue-black fairies. 1 triple desert nightly. Oh, 1 triple desert gardens deck. That was hilarious. And then this blade deck. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is my. I just don't think this fits my play style still. I think there's definitely bits where there's definitely bits where I made different decisions now than I would have before. And then actually, by just trying to maximize the most powerful, if I draw X, this is the most powerful thing I can do. And then that won me games. And then I even found a spot, going back through one of the games where if I had done that earlier, I'd have maybe won a game that I would have lost. But without having a real feel for what opponents got in hand, those calls are really hard to make. And I feel like I try and, whether I do it well or not, I like to try and have maximize my win rates against like, the worst they have, rather than hope for the best, which just kind of felt a bit like. But yeah, occasionally you get free wins, and that's pretty good. It felt like we definitely had spots where we drew like absolute master and spots where we drew like an absolute chump. And that was basically what decided the game. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Mono Blue is the deck for me. It's just hard to describe in any more detail. But we got a boosty, so that's that.